Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Back on the topic of the NFL today. Today, Jay and I are bringing you 5 teams that have a very hopeful long-term future in the NFL. Teams that we think can be very good for the next decade. Obviously, several teams in the NFL that are not great right now, but a young foundation. Shout out Godzilla Man for the idea. He gave us the idea in a previous video, so that kind of serves as our question of the day. That is for you guys. If you have any video ideas you want to see, comment below, and we will hopefully get to them because we could definitely use the ideas. We don't mind talking about anything NFL related. But Jay, let's get into this video. Give me your first team that you think has a great future long-term in the NFL.
Number 1, Jacksonville Jaguars. Overall, for this entire part of the Jaguars, we're really banking on the fact that Trevor Lawrence is going to turn out to be the guy everyone hopes he is. Generational talent, one of the big names coming out of the draft since like Andrew Luck, John Elway. He's got that type of assumption of how well he will do, and I believe in him, and I think he will get there, but that is exactly why I think the Browns will do so well. You're going to have a rookie quarterback that's probably going to be definitely the best one in his draft class on a cheap contract compared to other NFL starters for the next 5 years. And just really, as long as you have a quarterback, you're always going to be competitive. Overall, even Urban Meyer, that could be a big reason they click. That will also be a big reason they possibly won't have a bright future. That will determine it a lot. Your brand new head coach, your brand new quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, and they're already starting to build around him. They gave him an extra receiver, Marvin Jones Jr. They already got DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault. Defense could use some work, but they are getting there. Overall, though, with the Jaguars having, 2 first-round draft picks this year, it's not just Trevor Lawrence they're looking at. They're looking at another first-rounder, whether it be a defensive player, whoever it may be. I just think with the amount of draft capital they have, the amount of success Urban Meyer had in college, you could possibly transfer that to the NFL. Same for Lawrence. And the amount of cap space they have, this is just a team that is currently set up for the future long-term.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. This team is really set up for long-term success. Their draft capital right now is about as good as any team in the NFL. I really think that's going to work in the Jags' favor, that they have a speculative Trevor Lawrence coming in his first year in the NFL. Same thing with Urban Meyer. I think that they'll work together well because they're both so new to the NFL. I think they're both this doesn't really sound like a good thing. They're both college-oriented guys because they both came out of college. It doesn't really seem like it's going to help in the NFL, but I think that will help them be on the same page. So they might not see immediate success, but we're looking into the future, and I think this team can certainly be good. Yes, Shenault and Chark, two young receivers, very good. James Robinson in the backfield, young, very good. I think he was rookie last year, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So, and then their defense is good as well, not good right now, but it's getting better. They got Griffin.
Allen.
They got Josh Allen. They got Shaquille Griffin from Seattle.
Shaquille. And Shaquille was supposed to come. I don't know if it ever happened.
So the defense is getting better. Their offense is good. The foundation is there. Now, this is a team that I think is going to win 4 or 5 games maybe next season, but I think they're just going to continue to get better. So I definitely like the Jags long-term. I like them a lot.
Yeah, and one more reason I think long-term they will do well is because looking at their division, if the Texans, if they don't get anything for Deshaun Watson, or Deshaun Watson definitely leaves, they're going to be a while from being a good team.
The Texans will be the new Jags for the last couple of years.
And the Titans, they can't rely on Derrick Henry forever. At some point, yeah, he's still got a lot of his prime left, but at some point he's not going to be able to carry the load. And like we said, this is a long-term future potential. Derrick Henry's not going to be able to carry this franchise for the next 10 years. And all it takes is Carson Wentz to be the same guy he was in Philly this past year. And the Jags have an open division that they could fight for. Maybe not Trevor Lawrence rookie year, but like I said, long-term, the gates are opening for the AFC South for the Jaguars.
For sure. Who you got next on your list?
Moving on, I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. Kind of a similar situation, except we know how good that quarterback is. Josh Allen is an MVP conversationalist, and he could become an MVP very soon. Him and Stephon Diggs are a top 5 wide receiver quarterback duo. Top 3, could be top 1. You can make the argument. They're well coached by Sean McDermott. Brian Dable, really good offensive coordinator. I'm not sure he will stay with them long term, but the foundation's there. Yeah, they're missing a few pieces, such as a run game and a little bit on the defense, but long term, like I said, the important part is that you have your quarterback, and the Bills are already starting to have a great success, even with having holes in this team. They will only get better.
So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Josh Allen. I think he's great. He's definitely the future of this team. Head coach Sean McDermott, I like a lot. Brian Dable stuck around. I like that a lot. I think this team is set from a coaching standpoint and from the quarterback standpoint long term. So when you have those foundations, the rest will follow. Yes, they don't have a good running game. Their defense, their secondary is not great. Who comes to mind? I mean, Teron Johnson's pretty good. He picked off Lamar Jackson for 106 yards.
Micah Hyde.
There you go. So their defense is solid, I would say, not their strongest point, and their running game needs to get better. But I think the Bills can't be left out of this conversation because of their quarterback and because of their coaching staff.
Yeah, I think as long as in the draft they address the run game, they pick up a Najee Harris, a Travis Etienne.
I think that's very realistic that you go for Najee Harris, and that would make the Bills a lot better.
Really, the Bills team is what the Steelers were last year, yet their quarterback is young and their defense is only getting better. Long term, this Bills team is set up, and like I said, right now they're already doing phenomenal, and they're only going to get better. My biggest concern long term is once Brian Daboll does leave, will this affect the team drastically? We've seen in the NFL when an offensive coordinator leaves, it does hurt them a lot. Kyle Shanahan left the Falcons after the Super Bowl, never the same. Frank Wright left the Eagles after the Super Bowl, never the same. So it could be a pattern, but right now they don't have to worry because Brian Daboll is their guy.
For sure. Give me another team you got.
Your favorite LA Chargers, if you guys are out there watching, similar situation. Justin Herbert, he's a founding father of this team right now. He's a key piece to this team and revamping them. Really, last year 7-9 wasn't a great start for him, but it's not all about winning in your rookie year. Like I said, when's the last time a quarterback as a rookie won your division? It does not happen often. He did go into the offseason on a 4-game win streak, and really all around, and when healthy, you have the best pass rush in the NFL, arguably top 5 at worst. Have the best safety in the NFL when healthy, but a big question mark will be Brandon Staley. However, Justin Herbert being a top 10 quarterback and on a cheap rookie contract, this team is set up for success not only for the next 4 years while he's still on the rookie contract, but long term because of how much better he will be. And if Brandon Staley's a click, this could become a Super Bowl team in the next 10 years. Yeah,
Justin Herbert is the main reason why this team for me is a long-term success. Their backfield obviously right now it's Eckler, but that's not really a long-term thing in my opinion. Brandon Staley is a kind of a question mark, but has the potential to be that. Their young defense, their obviously defensive pinnacle, and Joey Bosa is long term. Derwin James, I wouldn't say is long term, but right now if he's healthy, best safety in the league. So this whole Chargers team is not set up long term completely, but Justin Herbert is, and that is the key for this team. And I think this team has a lot of success coming in the future long term.
Yeah, especially in this NFL draft, if they can protect Herbert and address more protection, he will have a long and healthy career of 15-20 years.
You add a young Darsal or Vera Tucker into the mix, and this preserves Herbert for longer. So
really, the only thing holding that back will be Brandon Staley. If not, I think he can up their game, but we will have to see. That'll be the biggest factor in how well they do. Moving on to the next team of the past teams, the Chargers, the Bills, the Jaguars. We're all saying these are going to be long-term teams because of their quarterbacks. The Dolphins, though, is the next team up, and they are the one team that I think might have a quarterback problem. Yet, with the amount of draft capital and the amount of good players they have on the roster outside of the quarterback position, long-term, they are looking good. They just added Will Fuller to the receiving core and Devontae Parker. Yes, those guys are kind of injury-prone, but when healthy, they can live up to the hype. And then on defense, you got Xavier Howard, you led in interceptions last year, and you got, I think, Van Ginkel in the linebacker core. It's just an overall good defense. Byron Jones along with Xavier Howard. This defense is stacked. It's probably top 5, top 7. And you have, 5 first rounds over the next 3 years, and one of them is number 6 overall this year to address whatever you want, whether it's replacing Tua or giving him a weapon. I do think it's a little early to cut your losses on him now because we don't know what he is, but at this pace, no matter what, they have enough capital to make up for it in the future.
Yeah, for me, cutting your losses is the wrong term per se for Tua because he just led him to 10 wins, and we just don't know. So I think he's part of the reason why this team has a lot of potential for success in the long run because he's still kind of a question mark of what he's really capable of. Now, of course, he showcased that he might not be elite level, but we also just really don't know what Tua is. But the Dolphins essentially turned Laramie Tunsil into 4 first-rounders, plus what they got from the Niners. So they're totally killing it with draft capital. You pick up Will Fuller. You got Devontae Parker. So, I mean, Will Fuller, like you said, injury-prone and off-the-field crap-prone, whatever, PED. So I hope that gets cleared up. I'm a Will Fuller fan. Their defense good. Obviously, Howard leading the league in interceptions. They have a lot of plus sides. And I like what the Dolphins front office has done with the team, and they've just managed to get so much draft capital. I think that they would have to do a lot wrong to mess up their future.
I would not be surprised long term if Tua Tagovailoa turns into what Jared Goff was for the Rams, or even Jimmy Garoppolo for the Niners. Like we've seen Jared Goff and Jimmy Garoppolo win games, take them to a Super Bowl, but it's just not enough to get over the hump and get the final ring. Tua, I know it's early on. I don't want to judge you too soon. You're a complete different quarterback playing style compared to Garoppolo and Goff, but it just seems like a similar trend.
And as good as that sounds, to take him on to the Super Bowl, no one's going to be satisfied with getting there and losing. Exactly. So Tua, you could be absolutely right that he might be good enough to do that, but not go all the way.
Yeah, history shows if you can't win it all, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters unless you win the last game of the season.
For sure.
Moving on, this is probably my favorite one just this year, even short term, but long term as well, of course, is the Cleveland Browns. Baker Mayfield, he's really the only variable. I don't want to say he's bad as Tua by any means, but he's not as great as Josh Allen either. I feel like he's right in the middle. He's your guy that you could stick with and you don't want to move off of, but he's not going to go out and win an MVP and carry the team. But the roster around on the best backfield, best offensive line, one of the best receiving cores when healthy, and a defense that has now been addressed, and you now have the coach that you like in Kevin Stefanski. This team is ready to win now. And long-term, Baker is young as well. And I'm not saying he will carry him, but he is young enough to be with him for the next 10 to 20 years. Yeah,
I really like every part of the Browns game. I'm becoming a bigger Baker Mayfield fan by the day. I think that he really got it together the last half of last season and really played good football. You could be seeing an OBJ return to help him out. You've got the best backfield with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. You've got a top O-line, at least top paid, and they live up to the reputation I think that they have. Their defense, you had John Johnson, you had Troy Hill to help out Denzel Ward, you got Myles Garrett up front. I think this Browns team has put together almost every piece of the puzzle, and now it's just up to Baker Mayfield to play not necessarily Hall of Fame football, smart football, and conservative football, and effective football, and this team will go to the top.
The only thing I am worried about with the Browns is because of how stacked they are and the amount of big names they have. Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, OBJ, Jarvis Landry, highest paid offensive line, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Baker Mayfield. Can they afford all of them forever? Right now, you're a little lucky because Baker's still on his rookie contract. You paid for OBJ's money up front. Myles Garrett's still on a rookie contract. Denzel Ward's still on a rookie contract. When those three big names are due for their paycheck, you might have to let go of Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, a really complimentary guy that helps make this backfield the best in the NFL. That is my biggest concern. But if they're anything like the Bucs, it doesn't matter. They're going to pull it together and pull something off.
And as Baker grows, you might be able to turn into a team that doesn't need two of the better running backs in the league in one backfield. You might turn into a team that needs only Nick Chubb. You let go of Kareem Hunt, and Baker carries more of the weight. So I think that this Browns team is set up pretty well for the future.
And not to say they can't draft guys that can replace those roles who will 100%. Then be on rookie contracts.
So that was our top five. We got the Jags, the Dolphins, the Browns, the Chargers, and the Buffalo Bills. Those are our top five we agreed on, but we each have one sort of dark horse that we couldn't quite agree on. So, Jay, who's yours?
Mine is the New York Football Giants. Just looking at them, they're in the worst division, and that might not last forever. Who knows? The NFC East could become the best division of football this very year. None of us know. But just all around, they are helping out Daniel Jones so much, adding him Kenny Galladay. You have Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, Kyle Rudolph.
Healthy Saquon, hopefully.
Yeah, Evan Ingram, top 3 running back in the NFL. Then on the defense, you got Leonard Williams, Jabril Peppers, James Bradbury, Adoree Jackson. You have addressed everything, but the big question mark is Daniel Jones long-term. Will he be your guy? You gave him the roster long-term to get him a win, and even just get a win, a division win. It's not asking him for a Super Bowl right now, but we need to see if you're the guy. This is kind of like a Tua thing. The team is ready to go and win long-term and win several Super Bowls roster-wise, but in your most important position on your roster, are they ready to win? And that's why they're a dark horse, because I don't know what Daniel Jones is yet.
Yeah, so the biggest question mark for me is Daniel Jones. He's obviously coming in his third year. A lot of people saying he can have a good year. He turns the ball over a lot, but the rest of the team is there. And my dark horse is in the same spot. The rest of the team is there, but the quarterback isn't yet. So I can't necessarily disagree, but I can't hop on the Daniel Jones boat right now. But I do think the Giants have potential, especially if Saquon can make a healthy return, because he is an animal. And that leads me into mine, which is the Washington football team. Like I said, a very similar situation. Defense is good. Defense is very good. Offense is good. Quarterback right now is a question mark with Fitzpatrick and Taylor Heineke, thank you. But their offense good. You got Terry McLaurin, you got Curtis Samuel, you got Adam Humphries, you got Antonio Gibson in the backfield, and then the defensive line is obviously really good. Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, all really up front, very good players. And I think that the only thing this Washington team needs is a good quarterback. And for all I know, Taylor Heineke could be the future of the franchise.
Yeah, I'd love to see Washington. I don't know their exact pick. It's probably 21, something around there. But I'd love to see them go with a Mac Jones. It's just a low-risk play.
Kyle Trask, maybe.
Yeah, you'd see with Ryan Fitzpatrick, you'd think he could teach, or not that he's the greatest teacher. He hasn't had that much success.
He's certainly helped out Tua, who was in a very similar situation.
But you'd think between Mac Jones or Taylor Heineke, he could give enough value to where these guys could become one of the starters. Just think Mac Jones, he's a guy that needs a perfect system, but Washington currently has that right now. They're well coached in Ron Rivera. And who knows, maybe they just need one more receiver for Taylor Heineke to throw to. Give him a Jalen Waddle between Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel, and Taylor Heineke will get the job done. Overall, like you said, if they get a quarterback, they will be one of the most dangerous teams in general.
For sure. So those are our dark horses. He got the Giants. I've got the football team. But that's all for our video. We gave you our top 5, well, really 6 teams with the brightest future in the NFL. So we want to hear yours in the comments, and also give us some more video ideas. We'd appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys. 2-minute warning.